Hello and welcome everybody. This video is going to cover a topic that has come up repeatedly on my stream during the first month I was streaming, and it actually was what do I think about Games Workshop miniatures. Now, what does qualify me to talk about the quality of Games Workshop miniatures? I'm just a random guy on the internet, right? I've been painting their miniatures for probably 15 years now. Even when they were still Peter or White Metal. And I've gone through the phase that they called Finecast, and now I'm a miniature designer for about 5 years. Personally, I lean strongly towards aesthetics when I'm looking at miniatures, and I'm looking for aesthetics in the miniatures that I want to buy. So, to illustrate my point, I prepared a couple of pictures, and let me just adjust that. A model that I always liked was the Be'lakor model. I think that one came out back in 2005. And what did I like so much about it? It felt really organic, and I think most of it is owed to the material that it is produced in, which is white metal. So you can see the anatomy is pretty organic. While this probably looks a bit blocky, you still have highs and lows, and it doesn't just it's not just a single plane, so to say. And down here you can see all the muscles, and it feels a lot more organic than the models that I will cover in a few minutes. And also, when you're looking at the armor, you don't just have planes that are smooth and regular. You have imperfections and irregularities, and that is due to someone having sculpted that by hand, right, and not designing it on a computer. Also, the skulls look a bit more realistic in my book. You can debate about the wings, but don't forget we're talking about 2005, which is 10 years ago or even 11 years ago, and the miniature design has come quite a long way. Now, to compare this, there's a Demon Prince from after the switch to plastic, right? And you can see the anatomy looks a lot more clunky and less realistic. The abs are just plates next to each other, and there's no irregularities. The armor pieces look smooth, and like I said, probably designed on a computer. And let's not talk about the face here. Also, the rest of the anatomy looks really blocky, so they just don't look organic. I mean, what I probably like is the weapon, but that's just not gonna make me buy the miniature if I hate the rest, right? Yeah, the finger incident. I mean, compared to the original metal model, this is just this is like a parody of the original model that came out in metal. Again, blocky details, really uninspired, and here you have the blocky anatomy as well, and just straight armor plates without much variation. Personally, I like to talk about the Chaos models because I always was into Chaos Space Marines a lot, and they helped me to illustrate my view on these models over time. Yeah, I mean, the middle one, the face, I don't know what they thought here. The wings look really just basic. The weapons are weird, so to say. I mean, they always used to be weird with the Chaos Space Marines, right? But I mean, sometimes I don't even know what's going on. And in general, they're just not aesthetic miniatures. They're all doing these kind of running positions and weird steps to probably convey some sort of dynamic, but it just doesn't do it for me. And then we had stuff like this where, you know, obviously you can't argue that this is probably a well-designed 3D print, but from an aesthetic point of view, there's just nothing there. Then we have the switch from white metal to resin to the Finecast line, and this is just one example that I want to show you that probably due to bad molds or whatever, they lost quite a few details, and they even had mistakes in the miniatures, right? You can see it here, and here there's parts missing. Also here the chain around his neck is just ruined, and this wasn't a really good decision. I mean, what were their thoughts behind all this? The switch to Finecast and you know, coming out with more goofy miniatures when they were trying to always produce the best miniatures in the world, as they like to say. I feel personally and if you followed their backstory a bit about their financial troubles and all of this, then you realize that at some point in time they tried to make more money. And how did they try to make more money? Of course, price raises, but let's keep that out of the talk for now, because we're basically just addressing the quality of the miniatures, right? And I feel personally they cut back a lot on design costs, and also they tried to appeal to a more younger audience that are not that critic about the miniatures maybe, that won't look at legs like this and say, well, this is just blocky, there's no real anatomy, and oh, look at this, he's showing me the finger, for example. Yeah, I mean, if you have some feel of aesthetic, these miniatures are just not going to appeal to you. And also the Finecast step, they obviously changed the location of production to China at some point, and yeah, this was the result. The whole best miniatures in the world thing just didn't apply to them anymore, right? Then after a while, I feel something changed, and I don't know what it is, but it resulted in a lot better miniatures. The Age of Sigmar move, I won't comment on the gaming aspects of it because I'm not a gamer and never was. Always was just interested in the quality of their miniatures, and this box was really good, I feel. I mean, we could argue that about Stormcast Eternals just being Space Marines in fantasy, but let's stop there. And just an example that I mentioned that I really liked and thought had some character and aesthetics and also well designed, even though probably 3D designed. Details, you know, like this emblem here, the corn symbol, and also the dog. I liked a lot. So yeah, we had them moving from really badly designed and badly looking miniatures to really good designs again, at least in their small miniatures. Most of the bigger ones were not that good still, but for example, Magnus Red was really good. And something else that I want to touch on, because we mentioned it, their policy changed a bit, and they even gave out a free miniature with their latest. Well, now it's not the latest anymore, but with one of one of their magazines, the White Dwarf magazine, right? And I went in, and it was, I think, €7 or €8. And I don't remember the last time that I only paid €8 for a single Games Workshop model, right? So I went in and bought it, and I really liked the design, and you can do a lot with their details, and yeah, really great model overall. Now, when I saw this, my mind changed a lot. I mean, even with Magnus the Red, we had some really great improvements in how they were designing and approaching larger models. They stepped away a bit from the blocky anatomy and made it a bit more realistic looking and more dynamic. And the details, they have always been there. They knew how to do details, but now I feel everything's coming together a bit more. And I really like how they are moving forward on their anatomy. It doesn't look just blocky. I mean, they still have this kind of weird approach to their abs, but it's getting better. I like this area a lot, and the face especially is really good. So yeah, I mean, overall a really great model and a really nice step in the right direction, in my opinion. If you have any questions, write them in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Games Workshop models and their progression over, say, I mean, they're celebrating 20 years. I think this week, maybe. What do you think about their progression over time? I mean, I've been there for 15 years. Some of you have been there a lot longer, probably. But yeah, let me know what you think about the video. This is just episode 1 of what's going to be a series of miniature talks. Hopefully I can invite a few people for interviews and talks, and we will see how this continues. But for now, thank you for watching, and see you next time.